Hello Australia, welcome to episode 743. I hope you had a great Easter break and we look forward to your company for the next hour. Let me tell you who's on the show today. 16-year-old local musician Ari Jasper is performing for us today. You'll see him very, very soon. Talking entertainment with Alexander Acosta. We'll find out the latest in Rupert Murdoch's love romance. Later on we talk to Slim Jim and the Fats, of course. They're celebrating their 35-year anniversary of their first album. Nisha's going to be talking to Slim and another special guest as well. Later, Penny Reynolds comes in to tell us about the fantastic event called Song Story Project. We'll tell you what that's all about too very soon. Chris Moyer has a brand new book to do with customer service. We're talking to him about that book and more. And later, the Bitch and team are in. We're talking all those news topics that you are talking about as well. Steve Collins is in, Chris Moyer is in, and Chris Ilsley. So we've got a very big hour of the couch. I hope you can stick around. 743 starts now.
It's showtime on the couch. It's showtime on the couch. You can see it from your house. You can see it from your house. It's showtime on the couch with Fred and the best in town. You can see it from your house. Yeah, it's showtime on the couch. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello Australia, welcome to the couch only on Foxtel. Thank you for your company. Let's get straight into it today. Lots of entertainment news to talk about, and the man that knows everything about entertainment is right here. Let's welcome him today, Alexander Acosta. Welcome back.
Thank you, Fred. Happy Easter. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Nice to have you back. I saw you at a couple of movie reviews, previews.
Did. I've seen a lot of movies recently.
And you're doing really well. Now, where can people watch a lot of those previews that you do?
A lot of the ones I create are all on Instagram. So just
what's
follow
your
at
tag?
Alexander Acosta, or on the Event Cinemas Instagram as well.
There
So
you
at
go.
Alexander Acosta.
There you go. Remember the name. Now, today we're going to talk about a couple of famous people and a couple of people I don't think are very famous. But let's start with the new Barbie movie.
Yes, have you seen the trailer?
I have actually seen it, and I have to say Margot Robbie is one of my favourite.
Oh, perfectly cast. And I think what's really great about the most recent trailer is it really shows how the movie is very tongue-in-cheek, a little bit funny. The company is obviously leaning into the humour of the nature of the doll. So it's kind of like a Wizard of Oz story. She gets like transported into the real world and has to deal with being this kind of Barbie vacuousness in the real world.
If anyone can do it, Margot Robbie can do it. She's done so much, and she's just one of these actors. She just can put herself out there for any role she wants.
When you look at her legacy so far, when you're going from Harley Quinn, Tonya Harding, and now Barbie, it's like the range is huge.
Fantastic.
And it's comedy and it's serious, and Ryan Gosling is in as
I was going
well.
to say, let's not take away from her co-star there.
Yes,
Ryan
probably
Gosling.
perfectly cast as Ken, and the many Kens in the movie as well, and the many Barbies, and it looks like it's going to be a good one.
Coming out very, very soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I would be a Ken, I'd be a sad Ken, because no one invited him to the party.
Yes, and that's coming out in July for those people holding out to see that. Now, Jimmy Kimmel, what's happening with him?
So Jimmy Kimmel was making a comment about Tom Cruise not coming to the Oscars, which was interesting considering...
Why did he do it?
Well...
Is it on his show?
Well, yeah, he spoke about it on his show with David Letterman. He was interviewing him. And they were making comment about how Tom Cruise said it was because there was production reasons as to why he didn't come. But when you think about it, his film, which Top Gun Maverick's fantastic film...
He is an amazing actor.
Yeah.
And I said to you before off air, he does a lot of his stunts on his own. We watched him do the motorbike stunt where, for those people who haven't watched the trailer...
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, on Mission Impossible, the new one that's coming out, they had to build a set, but they had to bring it all in by helicopter.
Yes.
And it's an amazing, very long set, and he rides a motorbike off a cliff.
Yes.
He had to do that twice, and he did that all himself.
I know, it wasn't even in the script.
Nope.
He just added that in himself.
I'd love to know what he gets paid, if there is an extra fee that he gets for doing the dangerous stuff. Because anything can happen.
I think they'd try and pay him not to do some of it at a certain point.
So would you say Jimmy Kimmel was a bit unfair?
Well, I think making comment, yes, the Oscars is meant to be this very big celebration, but I think we as a society are moving past the Oscars now. It's not really the same as it used to be. So maybe he doesn't see the value in it, and I don't blame Tom Cruise. He's been in Hollywood long enough to now be like, doesn't matter to me.
I think like a lot of things, the political correctness has killed off a lot of the reality TV, if we call it that.
Aspect of the Oscars,
I think so. Now, talking about reality TV, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yes,
a bit of
apparently.
drama.
A bit of drama. Kerry-Ann Kennelly was paid $180,000 to be on that show, and within 2 days had already said she's out. She didn't want to eat, I believe it was a testicle.
Yeah, and she was the highest paid on that show.
She was definitely the highest paid.
Because you've got people like Dicko. And
on 80,000, Peter Hellier as well. High salaries, and the lowest was $30,000 for that UK reality guy.
The story behind Kerry-Ann Kennelly, the actual influencer that she had an argument with.
Yeah, so she wasn't a team player because she refused to do it. And I think I can appreciate it to a certain degree, though. It's like you're a veteran broadcaster, but then why go on the show? Like, if you don't want that...
Why do you think these people... I mean, we're talking about people...
they just go for the money. There's no way they want to have this experience in the jungle.
Do you think a lot of them are just craving the limelight again? Because a lot of them haven't been in TV for a long time or anything.
But isn't that very exploitative then, though? To take them like, oh, we'll put you on TV.
I have to say, I'm not a big fan of the show anymore. No. I love Julia Morris.
Yeah, fantastic hosts.
But I just think the show's run its time.
I think most reality TV shows now have to really assess what value they truly bring, because really, we don't need to see these people doing this stuff.
I agree. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, still on Channel 10 if you would care to watch it. I wouldn't bother. Britney Spears.
Britney Spears, another narrative we keep following. Obviously, there was this big push to get her free. Now she's free of that custody of her parents, being in control of her life. And now we want to make up that apparently she's having marriage trouble. So she went to Mexico for a holiday and her husband didn't come with her, Sam Asghari.
So do you think there's truth behind this? Or
no, I think that the fact that this is making its rounds again is just us trying to create drama around Britney Spears. Do you think they'll leave her alone at one stage? Well, I hope so, because I don't think she's going to write any more music. So that's probably, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, look, I get a bit annoyed that when there's nothing happening, they beat it up and they cause it to happen.
Exactly. It's like, leave her alone.
And has she spoken out about this?
She's very, on her Instagram, she posts a lot. So she's very verbal, which is great. But, yeah, leave her alone.
All right, and our final story, Rupert Murdoch.
Rupert Murdoch. So I feel bad, Fred, because last time I was here, I was saying, oh, isn't it wonderful? See, love is possible at any age, 92. And apparently, no, it's not, actually, because they've called it off, a mutual decision.
Now, who was his partner? Who was the lady that he broke up with?
Was it Leslie something? Leslie Ann or something?
Yeah, that's
Anne Leslie.
$2.5 million ring.
Yeah, ring.
Now, they're arguing about if she's going to keep it
Well,
back.
I kind of think that she should keep it. But you know what? She should have just married him. I mean, how long would it have been, Fred? Come on.
Before she could get rid of him? Or?
Let's just wait.
Well, look, I have to wonder why a woman she had her own stardom.
Yeah, she was a dental hygienist.
Yeah, and you know what? I guess, do you think it was the money or the pressure from the public?
She says there was the statement said it was the public scrutiny and pressure put on it. But it's just like, I don't know. What did you think would happen when you went public with that kind of knowledge?
Look, I would have to say at his age, look, the fact he's picking up lots of different people. He's had, 6 different partners?
Hey, that's the best advice. Get him old and sick.
Look, if Rupert's out there, I'd go out with you. Just give me the $2.5 million ring. I'd be happy.
Hey.
I'd do it just for the ring. That $2.5 million, even if I got $2 million on eBay.
I'm a celebrity. Get me in there.
I reckon it's worth it. So, you're wondering why you didn't get in first either. We could share him, seriously.
We can all have a little piece of the Rupert Murdoch pie.
$2.5 million.
I'm sure he's watching right now. He loves media. Rupert, call us.
Thank you. Alexander, what's hot or not?
What's hot?
And what's not?
Hot is a Labor Party. They are crushing it across the political spectrum and the attractive spectrum as well. Labor Party is hot this week.
Now, we're talking about, obviously, the
seat of Aston.
New South Wales
100 years Liberal,
Victoria.
Suddenly flips it over.
Yeah, that's
the
never
first time
happened.
in opposition.
Why do you reckon that would be? Why are people switching? See, in my lifetime, it always happens this way. The Liberals win every single state, and then all of a sudden the Labor Party wins.
Yep.
And we've had a mixture of parties, and they've all worked together during COVID, if you remember. So now the New South Wales election was held. The Labor Party won that. The by-election that happened in Victoria, I think the Labor Party won that
Labor Party won that as well.
So good luck to Mr. Albanese. He's doing well.
If Scott Morrison steps down, there's another by-election on its way.
And that could be happening as well.
So, yeah, Labor Party's hot. Liberal Party needs to step it up. They are not hot this week.
Alexander, where do we find all your
my keen political insight and my interviews with people at movie premieres? You will find them on my Instagram at Alexander_Sacosta.
And
or at my website as well, alexandersacosta.com. Join the mailing list, which I don't have yet, but I'll make it before this goes to air.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Always, Fred.
Always nice to have Alexander here. Now, Ari Jasper is centre stage. He's got a great song for us today. It's called Say You Love Me. Here he is.
I've been staring all my life and I still cannot find you. Yeah, I've been caring all my life to finally remind you that you were born in a little town where love was all to bind you. But you were wild like a tiger at night, and I was what aligned you. That I've been here all of this time, and I've been walking on a line. That's fine, be his when you could be mine. That's fine, I'll be just fine. But say you love me one more time, give me another chance to make you mine. Baby, I'm hidden gold without no shine. Or are you too cold to change your mind? And I've been running my whole life to something that's behind me. Yeah, I've been chasing the thrill of life, wishing you were beside me. I've been recording all my mind in a song that is about to. Yeah, let me sing away out loud, 'cause baby, this one's all about you. I've been here all of this time, and I've been walking on a line. That's fine, be his when you could be mine. That's fine, I'll be just fine. But say you love me one more time, give me another chance to make you mine. Baby, I'm hidden gold without no shine. Or are you too cold to change your mind? And say you love me one more time, let me have your life till the end of mine. I'm a poor man with nothing but wine, but you'll find that I'm just fine inside a wine. As the lights dim and I feel your skin, I'm sleeping dreams that I'm still in. You need to pull me out, or I may never leave. I might fight it, not write it, and shout and scream. It's a flashback that I can't escape, 'cause the hours don't matter, it's the time we take. But say you love me one more time, give me another chance to make you mine. Baby, I'm hidden gold without no shine. Or are you too cold to change your mind? And say you love me one more time, let me have your life till the end of mine. I'm a poor man with nothing but wine, but you find that I'm just fine inside a wine.
Well done, Ari Jasper, of course, performing on the couch. That was an original. We've got a cover song coming up at the end of the show. Fantastic performer. We'll see you at the end. Now, it's time for us to talk about Slim Jim and the Fats Band. 35 years since they released their first album. And to talk about this, we've got the man himself, Slim Jim, and he's got another special guest, Anna, with him. And talking to them is our very own Nisha. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fred. We love having music legends on the couch. Thank you so much for joining us, Slim Jim and Anna.
Thanks, Nisha. It's lovely to be here, as always.
Do you know what? Yes, and it's not the first time. This is really exciting.
No, the couch has been an institution with looking after and supporting arts in Western Australia, it's great to be here again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and it's through the support of people like yourselves coming on and chatting us through. I'm really excited because you, as I said, legendary status around 37 years. So over this period of time, Slim Jim and the Fats has had, I think, over 250 members, which
Yeah,
is
we've
pretty
had
phenomenal.
probably in excess of 250 people. But the thing is that we used to work them so hard, they sort of gave up. I've got to get out of here, you know what I mean? But no, really, the reason being is that for different projects and different special events, we'd have extra musicians coming in. So I think, once you've performed with the Fats, you've always a Fats. So that's the way we sort of do the number count or the head count. And really, the essence of the Fats history has been successful, really, and maintained that way for so long, is because of the strength of the people that came into the band and injected their talent and their energy. So really, the longevity and the longevity and the success is based on that alone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, look, to hold that sense of community for such a long period of time means staying relevant as well.
It does, yeah. I mean, with the way music trends go, I mean, when we started in 86, we initially were a 50s revivalist band. So anything from 1955 to 65 was the era that we were playing. And then it was really weird. All of a sudden there was like Good Morning Vietnam, Tour of Duty on television, the Commitments had been released, and the essence of those soundtracks was all 60s R&B and soul and sort of psychedelic rock. So we sort of expanded from the 55 to 65 into that sort of 65 to 75 era. And of course, as each generation goes on, I think it's like a 20-year leapfrog or a 20-year retrospective. And so we've been basically doing that since we've started our career. It's like always having the best of what was with what's currently very interesting and worth having a listen to. And the formula seems to work. Yeah. I think they call it the 96 FM mix.
Yeah, but that connectivity in real terms is amazing and really important. And Anna, you were really a part of this revival. Which period did you become a Fats?
So I was in the band in 1987 to 1989, was it?
It was.
Yeah, it was an amazing time because,
it was too.
Yeah, just to be in a live band. I was 20 years old and there I was at the OBH, it felt like thousands of people to me. But, we had the big light show, big production, screaming people, yelling and, just bumping, dancing their way through the music. It was just amazing, and you don't get that now. And I feel for my children that they don't get to go to a live gig and get to experience what I got to experience with Slim Jim.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
It's an incredible period.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier off air, weren't we?
Yeah,
like the importance of connectivity and what it was like sort of 20, 30 years ago compared to now and actually connecting.
Well, yeah, and I think what happens is that's what the craft is that, I think some people have it and some people don't. It's as simple as that. I think you could learn techniques, but if you've got that genuine interest in your audience and a genuine affection for your audience, what you would like to do is is to entertain and engage with them. Yeah. And I think a lot of people these days, I think it's the nature of society, or it might be that those millennial traits where they listen to their own music in earphones. In our day, we used to make mixtapes for girls you wanted to sort of meet, and used to blare your music out on a ghetto blaster so everybody could share it. You know what I mean? So, and I think with the essence of our band is that we were always a performance-based band, which means we really needed to focus on what was going to keep an audience entertained and engaged. And I think, learning the techniques that we did from other great bands in that era, I think we successfully achieved that and still achieve that to today.
Yeah, we were very high energy and the girls were always dancing, we had routines. So, yeah, it was all about giving back to that audience. And in essence, we fed off that audience as well, didn't we, Jamie?
We certainly did. And there was 8 in the band at that time. There was 2 girls and 6 guys. And literally, like the timing start for the start of a song, and it was like an energy explosion on stage. Yeah. In fact, it's a bit of a weird story, but years ago we got booked, I think it was on our 3rd or 4th gig ever, and I think the agent must have just read the song list and not looked at what the band looked like, and they sent us off to the Pagoda Ballroom for a 50-50 night.
I remember that, the
in the Pagoda Ballroom, and the youngest member of the audience was like 65.
Oh, right.
And if there was about 150 of these 65-year-old people there, we were like a 50s revival band, but like on speed, like on steroids. And so I think within the first 3 songs, we burnt out literally the entire audience, and we gave up and went, we can't keep up with this band. And then we were stuck there playing to this crowd literally for the next 3 or 4 hours. It was just a terrible bit for that sort of gig. We were the whole idea of our band was energy and just keep pumping it hard.
Yeah.
And honestly, it was like a physical workout every day. In fact, I weighed myself after, and I was a pretty heavy guy back then. I think I was ranging in at about 17, 18 stone. And I drink nothing else but water, and I still do the same today. And I think I weighed myself before I left, and I came home and weighed myself, and I lost over a stone of water.
Yeah, wow.
Just and then that shows you. And we were just covered in sweat.
Wow.
Even your clothes had to be wrung out, even your boots.
Yeah.
Jim, can I come in
Sure.
with a question? Now, you also did television. The band went on Channel 7 on
We
the footy
did.
show for a while.
We
as
were.
well.
We were on Basil's footy show for 3 years, and that was a glorious time, Fred, because we took the principle of Letterman's show,
Yep.
which had Paul Schaefer's orchestra doing all the segueing in and out of ad breaks, as well as playing guests on. And but we took that technique, but then we applied it to what a pub rock band would be in Perth, and sort of applied or merged those two elements together. And again, as what Gary O'Keefe, the director, is now one of the leading directors in the country for sport for the Seven Network. What he wanted to do was create this energy, which was very apparent with the Letterman show, and we thought it would really work for Basil's footy show, and I thought it did.
Yeah.
In fact, it's funny, I wrote the theme for Basil's footy show, and since the show's finished, the Fats have never played it live.
Amazing.
But we are going to do it at the anniversary show.
What are you planning? How are we planning to celebrate the 35-year
Well,
anniversary?
we've got 6 ex-members, some of the most popular members of the past 37 years,
Yep.
with the current 6 members of the Fats. So there's 13 on stage, including me. And we are going to literally run through the generations of the Fats, have a great focus on the album that we're celebrating the 35th anniversary of, which is the Live at the OBH.
Yeah.
And the great thing about Live at the OBH is that it really captured the essence and the atmosphere that Anna was talking about on tape.
It's amazing. When
We're talking about tape, Fred.
Yeah, well, I was going to say to you, so much has changed since you
I know.
started. Social media is there now.
Totally.
Mobile phones are there now.
I know.
The audience has changed.
Yes.
We're all politically correct these days. The work of writing your music and
CDs have now become dream
CDs
posters.
Exactly.
That's it,
So
mate.
it's going to be an exciting
I know.
time. And are you likely to record a special single or an album to celebrate?
I'll let you into a secret. The way technology is today, comparative to those days,
Yep.
when we had to do that was like doing an old OB for a TV show. So we had an outside broadcast truck that was recording the band as we were performing live, as well as staff or front of house people mixing it for the audience. In this case here, the actual same mixer out the front can digitally record us like we're in a recording studio at
Modern
the same
world, eh?
time.
Fantastic.
So whatever goes down is going to be basically hopefully created for next year's anniversary.
I think all the best of luck to both of you and the whole
thank
band.
you.
35 years since the original album. It's a great achievement for any band to still be around after 35 years. So
I
well
agree.
done. It's a lot of hard work, especially here in WA. I know we went through COVID. You picked it all up again. Slim, you are one of the inaugural music people here in WA. You're still doing it. I'm doing TV. You're doing music.
We're
still
doing what we
supporting.
love, Fred.
And I'll throw back to Nisha because I know they want us to wrap up. But look, it's a special event. We want Perth to get involved.
I'd love to,
Support your local music industry because without them, you'd have nowhere for young artists, new artists, artists in general to perform. Nisha, I'll throw back to
Good
you.
call, Fred.
Yeah. It's so exciting hearing you both speak. 'Cause you're both, really legends of the industry.
Thank you.
When is this on? Because I'm so excited.
Okay, Saturday the 22nd of April. It's going to be in the Beer Garden, which is a larger area than what we used to perform in at the OBH. So it's at the OBH, the Ocean Beach Hotel, which is on a Marine Parade in Eric Street, I think, in
Yes.
Cottesloe,
Yes.
isn't it?
Iconic status. I'm
Cottesloe
sure we all
for
know where
sure.
that is. Yep.
But, the OBH also had a great tradition with country people because it was their go-to venue if they were coming to Perth on a Friday night to a Saturday. And so we're expecting, and the ticket sales, fortunately, have a readout and you can actually tell where they're coming from. We've sold tickets Kalgoorlie, Kalbarri, Albany, Australind, Bunbury, Busselton. It's just Jurien Bay,
amazing.
Cervantes, Dongra.
Wonderful.
It's just phenomenal the support we're getting. So, and I really hope people come down because I know that regardless of our age, we are definitely going to have
Yes.
a great energetic show to
we're
keep
gonna-
people engaged.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
So excited. I think both diversity, you are as diverse as you are adjustable in terms of the eras. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank
the
you for
show.
your time.
We'd
Thank
love
you
to
for
have you back on very soon again. I'll definitely be at the concert. I'm sure Fred will be rocking.
I know somebody that's got some free tickets for you guys.
Oh,
all right.
very exciting. We'll be there either way. Amazing. Where do we go to find out more? First of all, in regards to your band as well.
Okay, you can go to www.slimjimenterprises.com.au
Or you can get tickets at trybooking.com. Is it .com.au?
Yeah, .com, no, just .com.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wonderful.
At trybooking.
Perfect, and you won't miss it. Jimmy and the Fats and Anna, thank you so much for joining us as well. I'm expecting to see you up on stage. You will.
Thanks,
I might be little, but I'll be bopping around so you see me.
We're going to spare tambourine for you, Nisha.
I'll be up there. I used to get up on the lorry.
We
with
always
my
put our
uncles.
guests to work. All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you.
So if you missed any of that, of course, you can go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. But for now, I'm overexcited, so I have to pass back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much. And one thing that has changed is our hair as well. I don't know if you noticed it. Both of us have got less hair these days, but you never know. It might come back into fashion.
Now these days, Fred.
I just wanted to say a quick plug for Curtin FM, because
Yeah.
people can catch you on the
Oh,
radio.
thank
When
you,
are you
Fred.
on?
I'm on fortnightly on a Friday. Good Friday, I'm just going to go. So the 24th.
24th of April. Catch him on Curtin FM here in
No,
Perth.
21st of April.
21st of April, and it's 100.1.
100.1
See, I know it better than you.
FM. Yes, you do.
Honestly.
You're doing very well. I have to wait to see the sign in the studio
That's
for me to be
all right.
reminded.
You're doing a great job, and it
Thanks
makes us,
very
you know
much.
what, all these anniversaries make us all feel young, especially when we realise how many years we've been doing this. Congratulations. Look
Thank you
forward to
very
big
much.
success with the Slim Jim and the Fats. They're back. They have never left, actually, so they're not back. They've never left us. Thank you. We need to take a break. But before we go to the break, we had lovely Ari Jasper performing for us. He's going to play us out to the break. But I wanted to ask Ari, how do we get more information about you?
Well, thank you very much for having me, Fred. You can find more out about me on my website, arijasper.com, or you can find my music on Spotify under Ari Jasper.
Welcome back to The Couch on this Sunday evening. Hope you're enjoying the show as well. Now we're going to talk about something that's happening here in WA. It's called the Song Story Project. And with us is the artistic director and the lady behind it all. Her name is Penny Reynolds. Welcome to The Couch.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here.
Penny, I've never heard of the Song Story Project, which makes me a little bit upset because I think you have a lot of fun.
I do.
Tell me about it. How does it work?
Well, it is a new thing, Fred, which would explain why maybe you haven't heard of it yet. But it's all about music and memories and about collecting stories around the significant and special songs in people's lives.
So tell me, if I was involved,
Yeah.
how would it work?
It's a community arts project.
Okay.
So I get to know the people in the community that I'm working in or the organisation that I'm working in.
Yep.
And we meet together in small groups and we have what we call song chat sessions.
So if I was in your group right now, and
Yep.
we've just met for the first time,
Yeah.
how would I be involved?
So I would ask the question, is there a song in your life, a significant or special song that takes you to a time, a place, a person, an event, or even just a feeling?
Yep.
And is there a personal story or a special little story that you would be happy to share around that song?
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
I'd have a song.
Yeah.
I'd tell you that song
Yeah.
and you'd say, why is that song?
Exactly. So
Tell me the
you
story.
some people choose to, I like to give people a choice on how they express their story because creative storytelling's lots of people do it in different ways. So sometimes I literally just have a chat with someone, record it on my phone, and then I have all those really special interaction.
And where does it go from the group chat? How many people would be in a group chat when you
Well, it
do
really
it?
varies. I tend to sort of go and visit groups that are already established. So I go and visit them, and so they're already doing something else, and I'm like their special guest for the day.
So a question for you here then. If we are interested and I've got a
Yes.
group of people,
Yes.
maybe 10 people,
Yes.
how do I get a hold of you? Like, how do we get involved?
Well, what we're doing at the moment is that we're doing it in local government areas. So at the moment, I'm producing a show in the city of Kalamunda.
Okay.
So I've been buzzing around Kalamunda in the last month or so, speaking to the good people there, and they've been sharing their song stories. And we've got about 70 of them so far. Some people write them, like I give them a little handout and off they go and they're writing away, and just some absolute gems coming through. Some people just send me emails. Sometimes I ask the question and people say, oh, look, I'm really not sure, but I'll get back to you. So then I get beautiful emails as well. So that's City of Kalamunda at the moment.
So hopefully you'll move from council to council and move the show everywhere.
And through organisations as well. So organisations that are made up of a whole lot of different people. It's like a special thing for them to do, a special thing for their people, because...
I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's really fun.
If you love your music and you love the story behind that song that you love, that special song, and we've all got them.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all got them. I think it's wonderful. Now, you've got a special event coming up.
I do.
As well. Tell us about that.
So we've gone around and collected the stories, the song stories from people in Kalamunda, and now we go away and create a live show for that local community. So myself and my colleagues are looking through all the songs and the stories, and we curate and create a really cool show. And we're doing that at Kalamunda Performing Arts Centre on the 26th of May at 11 o'clock in the morning.
26th of May.
Friday, the 26th
11 a.m.
of May. 11 a.m. in the morning.
Early.
But the really important thing is that at 10 a.m. the morning tea starts.
Beautiful.
So that's really important.
Is there a cost for the event?
No, because it's all supported by City of Kalamunda and ABAC, which is...
That is wonderful.
Yeah, and it's really important to me to keep it that way, to keep the inclusivity as broad as we can. And the people that have shared their stories are my honoured guests, and then it's open to the wider community.
So the question I have for you now is, what's your background? How did you get into this?
Well, I do have quite an unusual bag of skills, one might say. So I spent about 25 years as an opera and musical theatre concert oratorio singer. Here in Perth, I trained in America and went to WAPA here. So that was a lot of fun.
So you know what you're talking about, and you know your music.
I do.
And you obviously love this idea of this project. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
I know we've only got a short time today, but give us the website where people can find out more about the Song Story Project and also you if they want to contact you.
That would be great. So the website is Song Story Project. So Song Story is all one word, S-O-N-G... Sorry, I'm going to start that again. It's on the screen, SONGSTORYPROGJECT.com.au.
Can we help you here in Perth to try and get it out to other councils as well? Will this be the trial?
No, I've already done that.
Okay.
We've done that. We've done our pilot season. And it's really exciting. We're really, really hoping to deliver the project in City of South Perth in the latter half of the year.
Wonderful.
And then to really make it grow from there.
Look, I think it's a great idea. It's going to be a great event. I look forward to the event at the Kalamunda Theatre up there.
Everybody's welcome.
And it's going to be great. It's free, 10 o'clock morning tea, 11 o'clock the show.
That's the one.
And how long do you think the show will go for? How many hours?
It's going to be about 50 minutes.
About an hour.
Not very long.
Not bad.
And if you would like to register for a ticket, you just go to Kalamunda Performing Arts Centre and it's on their what's on. Yeah, and you can register there and they'll send you an email ticket.
What a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
A fantastic new idea here in Perth. If you love your music, you love your stories behind your songs. Thank you, Penny. All the best.
Pleasure.
I look forward to having you back on the couch again.
That would be wonderful.
And promoting more about this.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Well done. We're going to take a break. Of course, don't forget the Song Story Project. Check out their website. Please get involved. The show at Kalamunda is happening. Again, what date is it? Friday
the 26th of May at 10 o'clock in the morning with the show starting at 11.
You know it all.
I do.
There you go. Get your songs ready and be part of the event. Fantastic. We'll take a break. More of The Couch coming up right after this. Welcome back to The Couch. I'm looking at this bestseller book, All in Culture, thanks to our good friend Chris Moyer. He's in the studio for the first time this year. Congratulations on the book. Nisha, welcome back as well. We're going to find out more about the book today and also good customer service. Over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Fred. Yes, we're very proud to have our very good friend of the couch, Chris Moyer, back. Welcome.
Thanks so much, Nisha. Good to be back here. I think it's my third year on the show, and but my very first TV interview as an author. So
That's
it's pretty
right.
exciting. I'm
Yes.
pumped.
Yes, and it's good for both Fred and I to be able to say we knew you before. You were the Amazon's bestseller. I saw on your LinkedIn.
I
I'm very
know.
proud.
Look, the book came out just recently, and hence why it's my first interview, and it's done exceptionally well in its launch, which has been super, super cool. And I'm just so excited to be able to get the message out there, including to all your lovely viewers on the show as well.
Wonderful. And, you know, of course, I got my copy with a little note at the front today. Thank you very much,
You're so
Chris.
welcome.
And, you know, I got a chance to read the back cover and, you know, I was just wondering, the tagline, the headline on the back page, is that really what the book's all about?
Yeah, I mean, headlines, we're trying to grab people's attention, but it basically says everything flows from a culture of service excellence. And it's a really interesting premise because if you think about organisational culture, you can have a culture of productivity, a culture of engagement, all these different types of cultures. Whereas my firm belief is if you have a culture where service to others is your number one priority, and if you can master that culture, or make that culture the main reason that your business succeeds from, then everything else flows into place. If you get that right, the rest just makes sense.
Yeah, you know what I love is that you put a lot of effort into this book, and we've followed your narrative over the last couple of years, and it really is you. Which is really lovely to see genuine content in a book based on your experience as well as theory and research as well. Can you tell us, how did you actually come up with that title though? Because it is quite tricky to find a title that really encompasses
I know,
everything,
hey,
right?
I mean, I've had baby names that are easier to come up with for my
had lots of
kids.
babies recently.
Then I know 2 baby names was easy enough than a title of the book, and we had so many different working titles, which I wouldn't say were bad. I just don't think they really jumped out at many people. They sort of were like, oh, it's great, but you could do better. And I kept on going back to, if I think about what I've been doing over the last 15 or so years in terms of working in the delivery of service in organisations, there are so many leaders out there that say that they get that service is important, which it is.
Yes.
They love it. They think that service is their responsibility, and that is as well. But then I don't believe that they do go all in on their culture.
I'm following you. So it's actually actions,
It
right?
is, that's right. Not just, there's the theory element, there's the practical element, but even operationalising it. What does that look like in our actual culture from the leader's perspective? So, the book is, and if I think about all of the times that I've spoken to, say, clients about their service, fundamentally, deep inside, the leader or many of the leaders in the business, they're just simply not going all in. So that's why the book finally, we sort of did a bit of a 360 and went back to, this is all about helping leaders go all in to their service culture.
And so good there's this collateral, this great detailed book now to support everything you've been talking about, right? And I guess everything you've learnt from clients as well as yourself as the expert. Can you talk us through a bit about who the book's aimed at then?
Definitely. So look, it's aimed at, and I don't want to say a particular job title because it's aimed at any leader, depending on the size of the organisation. Right. So you could be, for instance, like yourself, who runs a practice, you as a leader, but it could also be aimed at a CEO level. Yeah. But again, depending on the organisation, middle management levels, right through to even frontline managers. But any leader in the business that wants to lead their people to be of service, it's one of those things that you do need the commitment from the very top, but that doesn't preclude anyone else from picking up the book and giving it a read as well, including HR.
Yeah, you mentioned HR then, and on my mind was you might have some health and safety too, like psychological risk in the workplace is huge at the moment, and I imagine customer service, both internal, external, is a huge contributor to that too.
Oh, we should probably talk about that on another, like a whole episode for that. But there is this concept of burnout at the moment. And a real thing that I get really focused on is, are there people who are actually stressed to serve? So I'm not talking about stress for your job, but also if service becomes stressful. And that's a real worry if someone, to serve another human being finds that stressful. So I think we should definitely chat about that.
Psychosomatic, right? It's all in the presentation.
Totally, yeah.
So as a leader, like you mentioned, there'll be variations based on the business size, but why should they get your book? What are they going to be able to get out of it?
Yeah, look, I think that, it says lead your people to be of service. And I think, if I look deep into that, I think, well, what are some of the issues that leaders face? And fundamentally, they're just not service focused enough. So they need to be more focused on their service. They need to work better with other departments. So it's not just one person's responsibility. Leading a culture of service requires so many stakeholders, especially at that leadership and HR level, to get involved. So it's really going to help them collaborate better with those, or in partnership with those other stakeholders, and really make their mark on the culture. I think every leader does want to leave a legacy, make a positive difference, and this book will really help them just do that.
I think it'll help them in their own lives as well. It sounds like there's a lot that will transcend.
There are personal takeaways as well, absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful. And, like I mentioned, you've invested a lot into this book. How long did it take you to write it?
Look, interestingly, the ideas have been brewing for about 7 years, so I think I'm ready to take a sabbatical, technically, after the 7 years.
The book to work through for when you take the break.
That's right, exactly, because it has been that 7-year slog. I mean, the writing part, about 18 months from starting page 1 to finishing and editing and publishing. But really, when I think about it, and I'd love all of the people out there to grab a copy, because it really brings to life my conversational tone, definitely some stories, case studies, examples, things that I've just picked up along the way. Some of the things that we've also spoken about over the years, if they want to jump into the couch archives and see some of the old episodes, but they're all it would all be in there in some way. And I think that's been the good part, actually, about sitting down and saying, well, hey, what do I know and what can I really help the world with?
Well, a privilege and so proud, Chris Moyer. This is an exciting book, and it's going to help so many leaders in so many different industries, all in culture. You can obviously access it on Amazon. Where else can we find this book, or is Amazon the main channel at the moment?
The main channel, yeah. There's Barnes & Noble and another one as well. There's a few international ones, but Amazon is probably your mainstream one as well. So
and
definitely.
If people want to contact you, which I'm sure you'll be very, very popular and famous now, tell us where we can find more info about you.
Look, thank you. This book is in service to you, and I really mean that. So I'd love to engage with you about any content that you either have questions or comments on how it works for you and all of that. So you can drop me a direct line, Chris at chrismoyer.com, and I'd love to engage with you about what you think about the book. And Amazon is the best place, of course, to make it.
Chris, always a pleasure having you on the couch, and we'll see you back again soon, and we'll talk about a new exciting topic related to all in culture again. So we'll see you soon.
Honestly,
Thank you.
can't wait. Thanks, Nisha.
Beautiful. Now, if you've missed any of that, of course, you can get us on thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. But for now, it's back to you, Fred.
Thank you, Nisha, and thank you, Chris, and all the best with the book. We will be giving away some books in the next segment, so go and buy it for yourself for now, if you can't wait. But we will give some away on the show coming up in May, I think it is, when Chris is back. Lead your people, to be of service. What a great motto. We'll be back with more of The Couch right after this.
Connect with The Couch online through Facebook, Instagram and YouTube.
Connected Women do a great job in the community here in WA. There was some research done last year that came out with the finding that women struggle with friendships after the age of 50. To talk about this and more, Connected Women as well and their involvement, is the co-founder of Connected Women. Her name is Steph Leobich, and I think we've got that right.
Yes.
I think we've got your name right. Look, Steph, thank you for coming in today. Tell me a little bit about the research that happened to find this conclusion.
Yeah, so last year, as you said, we did some research and we had over 1,000 participants and some of the results were really concerning. 1 in 5 women don't have a single friend that they can rely on when they need it, which is really upsetting to think about. That's 20% of the population.
Are lonely.
Yeah.
And on their own.
Yep.
Feel isolated. Now, tell me a little bit about Connected Women and how you got involved.
So my mum is in her 50s. Something I get all the time is you don't look 50, and it's not because I've had a lot of work done. My mum's in her 50s, and basically she found that once me and my brothers left home, the opportunity for her to put herself out there and find like-minded people to connect with became really difficult. So that was where the whole idea started, and Phoebe is my business partner, and basically we came up with the idea of Connected Women and thought, I wonder if we can just kind of have this meet-up type thing where we get women together, and it's a safe space where they all know that they're within a similar age, and they can chat about things they care about. And it really started there.
Fantastic organisation, Connected Women. How long have you been running for?
Just a year.
So it's brand new.
Yeah.
And was it basically founded from the survey and the research, or were you working on other projects before?
Yeah, so we were working on the idea before that, and the research really helped validate some of our assumptions around the way that women feel as they age.
So go through the typical description of a member of Connected Women.
Okay, so that's an interesting one because we have a few. So Connected Women is mainly for women between the age of 50 and 75. So we have some ladies in their early 50s who really just want to have a fun time. So you'll find them at our wine tours, our big parties, and things where they can just let their hair down and have a dance and connect with other women. Then we also have some women who maybe are a little bit older or not, and they're really looking for that deeper one-on-one or smaller group interaction. So they'll go along to our coffee catch-ups. And
so what are some of the stories? Can you tell us some of the stories that you hear at these events?
Yeah, so again, they really range, but one that stands out to me is one of our members, Pam, and we met her just when we started Connected Women, and she's recently widowed, and she was finding it really hard to, get out the house, really. She has grown-up children, but they're busy with their children now, and she found Connected Women, and her whole life has really changed. She's found not only fun things to go to, but people in her local area that she can connect with and have coffee with when she needs it.
Now, talking about activities, tell me some of the type of activities that you guys run.
So we have loads of different activities. They range from something as simple as a coffee catch-up or a walk to wine tours, Spanish cooking and tasting and language lessons.
So do you organise all those events? Connected Women do the whole organising?
Yeah, we do. So we have a community manager and an events manager who create a full schedule of events throughout the month for members to attend.
So for women out there that are saying, look, I'd love to do something like that, how would you urge them to get involved? How would they get involved?
So it's really just as easy as having a look at our website and signing up. Once they become a new member, we really try and make it super easy and inclusive for them.
Tell us your website. Because I know
our
it's on
website,
screen.
so it's connectedwomen.net.
Very, very easy.
Easy one to remember.
Connectedwomen.net. It's on screen right now, and we'd love you to be involved because there are a lot of benefits. So the outcome of these fantastic events and activities, what would you say to women? Look at camera 2 for me. Tell women why it would help them and how getting involved might actually change their life.
So being connected is so important for your health, your mental and physical health, and having people that you can rely on and trust and confide in and have fun experiences with is really the key to a long, healthy life. And
Steph, is there a charge for becoming a member? How does that work?
So we have a small fee, which is $15 a month or $150 a year. And that covers all of the
expenses for the functions and events?
Exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah, and also members get access to an exclusive member benefits portal. So they get heaps of discounts to cinemas and restaurants. So we really try and keep it as low cost as possible.
And can women bring friends, other women with them, and can they join up as a say 2 people, 3 people, a group of women?
Yeah, so we have a 7-day free trial. All of our events are for members only, just so members can make sure that, they know who's going and they can see the faces before they arrive. But anyone over 50 who's identifies as a woman is welcome to sign up for a free trial and go along with their friends.
We were saying before we did the interview, I think with COVID, I think that's caused a lot of the issues, or worsened those issues, to find those the findings that women are struggling to get friends after the age of 50, because COVID sort of isolated people, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were working at home on their own. They weren't meeting with other people, and some people are still at home 2 or 3 days a week. And though there was a lot of benefit from people working from home, I think in some ways it's caused a lot of mental health issues, haven't
Absolutely. I think people in general are more disconnected than ever, and, you know, social media is really at its worst, where, you know, initially it was helping people feel connected, but now it's sort of doing the opposite. And you're right that people still aren't back at the office. They're used to being at home, and it's really hard to find those opportunities to reconnect.
No, look, you do an amazing job.
Thank
I'm
you.
hoping down the track you'll be doing connected men as well, because I think men may have issues with making friends at that age as well. Look, it's a wonderful job that you guys do. Connected Women are a wonderful organisation. We'd love you to get involved. Go to their website. Again, Steph, tell me what the website is.
It's connectedwomen.net.
Thank you very much. There it is on screen right now. Go to that website and become a member. You pay a monthly fee, the 7-day free trial. You can ask them questions, find out more about the organisation. And people like Steph are more than happy to help.
Absolutely.
Well done. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for being here. Nisha has a very special guest coming up. They're from No Lights, No Lycra. It's a great event that's coming up here in Perth. Check out the video clip and then we'll talk to the guest.
Pure exhilaration and just like elation and happiness and freedom.
People let their guard down and they just feel like they can move any way they want to, really any way they want to.
Really good groove, and I haven't had one forever. I'm a single mum and I don't get out much.
It's total escapism and you just get lost in the music entirely.
So now we're handing over to teens so that they can run it for young people across Australia.
So welcome to the first day Lights No Lycra session at Santa and we're all keen to get started, but first I'll remind you some of the rules.
The No Lights No Lycra Student Ambassador Program is about getting schools up and moving for better health and well-being.
Student ambassador is someone who leads their peers into a safe space so they can just be themselves.
I was gonna have to leave, but I have a sack, it's so good!
I feel free on the dance floor, I feel equal, and I feel safe. So for me, I get to stomp out everything that I've been thinking about. I get to leave all of that behind and then just find that peace and that mindfulness in the dark.
There you go. That's No Lights, No Lycra. To find out more on how you can get involved, Nisha's got a very special guest in the studio today. Over to you, Nisha.
Thank you so much, Fred. No Lights, No Lycra. The Perth ambassador is here with us. Bryony Callender, welcome.
Thanks, Nisha.
Now, No Lights, No Lycra, we're probably all wondering what you do and how you came about.
Sure. So I run No Lights, No Lycra here in Perth. It actually started in Melbourne about 14 years ago. And it was 2 dance students who were tired of looking at themselves in the mirror and critiquing their bodies and having to wear lycra all the time. They got together with a bunch of friends, turned out the lights, got rid of the lycra and just danced for themselves. And through that, they discovered the freedom that there is and the joy to be found in just dancing for yourself, by yourself. Yeah. So from there, it's just spread organically, and we now have 40 locations across Australia and 70 worldwide.
Wow, that's fantastic in such a short period of time. So what's some of the feedback you get? Because you just mentioned there's a big liberating feeling when you don't feel that. Is it kind of pressure or sometimes anxiety that we all get if we're wearing lycra?
Yeah, so there's a few things that we hear from our participants. First of all, the University of Sydney a few years ago did a study into the mental health benefits of No Lights, No Lycra. 97% of participants said that they felt better about their mental health after attending a dance session with us. We attract people of all ages, all genders, all abilities, backgrounds. So we have people in their 20s, we have people in their 80s, we have people with disability. It's a really good sort of section of the community that comes along. We like to foster a really inclusive community. And so as a result of that, people feel included, they feel connected. It's a chance for them to move in a way that feels good for them. And then they come out sweaty, faces grinning, feeling happy, feeling connected to community, and then they tell their friends about it, and that's how we grow.
That's amazing. We've Fred and I were just talking to other guests on the show and talking about how important connectedness is. So that mental health aspect, why do you think that is, just from your experience?
I think we live in a really image-conscious society at the moment, and along with that, we've lost touch with the idea of play. So this is a chance for people to just turn off the lights and just be whoever they want to be in the dark. And the dark is really equalising. Everyone's the same in there. So it's a chance for you to move your body just however feels good for you, without worrying about turning up on someone's social media account. We don't have any phones, we don't have any Fitbits, any of those things. It's just for you.
So it's effectively removing all obstacles for people to feel judgment, perhaps?
That's right. That's exactly what we go for. It's a judgment-free space. And that's why our headquarters in Melbourne have now launched the No Lights, No Lycra in Schools program. And so that's to try and get No Lights, No Lycra into high schools. And the reason I feel really passionate about that is I imagine how different my high school experience would have been if I'd had a chance to just be myself more often and just find a way to connect to music and connect to my body in that really different way.
Yeah, it's a pivotal time when you're at school, and I know the curriculum does have a wellbeing component to it. Is that where you're hoping that this program is going to?
Yeah, that's right. So it's a student-led program, and it's free for schools and free for students. So we've had about 60 schools nationally sign up for it so far. All that needs to happen is a teacher signs up via our website. From that, it's hands-off for teachers. So it's student-led. They're then provided training online from things like inclusivity, event management, marketing, and mental health. So all of those things that are really worthwhile for the event to happen, but also really good skills to gain as a teenager.
Absolutely. How sustainable as well. You've got the system kind of keeping itself going.
Absolutely. And that's the plan. We want to nurture to have more ambassadors, open up more No Lights, No Lycras, and bring it to as many people as we can.
So what's involved in being an ambassador?
So my role is obviously the events management. So we run on Monday nights at Leaderville. We run 2 sessions so that we've got enough room for everybody to move around. From there, I also take care of the marketing, all of the admin behind the scenes, all of the social media. So it does take some time. Although does it feel like work? I wouldn't say so. It's really rewarding in and of itself.
Awesome. So talk us through, if I were to come to a session, what would I expect?
Sure. So when you rock up, we scan in your ticket, and that will let us know if it's your first time or not. When we find out it's your first time, we take you in, right? And then we show you where we dance, how it works. At our one, this isn't for all locations, but at Perth, we have glow-in-the-dark dots on the floor. Oh, wow. So they're 1.7 metres apart, and that way people feel like they've got their little dance bubble. No one's going to knock into them.
I was going to say there might be some anxiety about the dark for people coming for the first time, but that
people do feel anxious their first time. They can do. I did my first time as well. Although my first time, as soon as the lights went out, I knew exactly I was in the right space for me.
Beautiful.
So when you arrive, we orient you to the space. We let you know, I guess, the rules. So one of the things is it's no talking, non-interactive. So this is just for you and your body. And whilst we say no talking, if you do want to clap or cheer or sing along, you're more than free to, and everybody does. And that's how we also feel that connection as well.
Wonderful. Okay, so certainly No Lights, No Lycra sounds like there's a very strong philosophy around it. How do people get involved?
Sure. So for the schools program or for any information about No Lights, No Lycra, they just need to go to nolightsnolycra.com.
Beautiful. And now also, are you looking for sponsors? Because I know you said Health in Victoria have helped with the first 20 schools to take up this program. What would you say to any schools or potential sponsors out there that might be looking to support this program?
So if you would like to try No Lights, No Lycra, then please come along to ours on a Monday night in Leaderville. If you search Facebook for No Lights, No Lycra Perth, and that will come up for you. If you're a student or a parent of a teen that you think would really enjoy No Lights, No Lycra and want to see it in your school, have a chat to your student services or your wellbeing team. Let them know it fits into the wellbeing framework and the curriculum for Australian schools. Get them to head to the website as well and sign up.
Bryony, thank you so much. On so many levels, helping people. So, I think sharing your story and also engaging our schools, pivotal time for psychological development, so important. We'd love to, obviously you're a friend of the couch now, but we'd love to have you on the couch again. I'm sure Fred would love that too. And for more information, of course, if you've missed any of that, go to thecouch.com.au or our Facebook page. We'll see you again soon, and good luck with the program.
Thank you so much, Nisha.
Back to you, Fred.
Thank you very much. Don't forget, No Lights, No Lycra, and of course Connected Women, doing great things in the community and covering them here on The Couch. We're going to take a break. More coming up of The Couch right after this. Welcome back to the couch. Nice to have your company. It's time for us to do some bitchin', and let me introduce our panel today. Chris, Steve, and Chris, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Hello.
Nice to have you here on Bitchin'. Now let's start with you, Chris Smoyer. Of course, you are Amazon International Award-winning author for this brand new book called All in Culture. Welcome to the couch.
Thanks.
What's your topic today?
Today we are talking about, and I need other people to help me with this because I must have been immersed so long in my writing. Star Wars, so Lucasfilm, has just revealed that they want to launch another trilogy of Star Wars movies. And I really need some
they're
help.
Not going to be, they're not going to be the same trilogy. They're going to be different sort of films, but another three films.
But that's even worse because the first apparently 9 of them. Now, let me be honest with you here. I've only seen one Star Wars movie in my lifetime.
I'm the same.
In fact, even my wife, we were driving on the 4th of May. In 2020, and we were May the 4th be with you. And she said to me, I think the baby's coming. This is our first child. And I said, the baby's not coming today. It's nothing. And I kept driving, and actually the baby came on the 5th of May because I just couldn't fathom having a baby.
Luke, I am your father.
Can you just drive along and ignore labour pains?
Yeah, I know, because May the 4th of May, I just couldn't get it because we and my wife and I are the same. We are both not Star Wars fans, and and that's why I want to just bring it to you guys. I mean, have you seen Star Wars movies,
Yes,
Fred? You said you haven't, because I'm not.
I've only ever seen one, and that's probably a little bit here, a little bit there.
The Phantom Menace, I think it was. Yeah. So I'm literally like more movies.
The first one was called was originally called Star Wars. Then when they decided to make others, they called it Star Wars: A New Hope.
But they must be doing well, right? To do more trilogies. But I just think, and I'm not saying that they're relying on my movie ticket.
Mate, it's good old-fashioned money making. Okay, we've made money. Let's continue to milk the cow until the cow falls over and dies.
So there are people out there that watch this, though.
But there's a whole Star Wars channel on Disney, and they have other films like that. They have series like The Mandalorian, which is in the 3rd season.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's about the bounty hunters, which are Mandalorians and stuff
Chris,
like that.
Never heard of it.
Tell me why you think we should give it a break and don't do any more.
Because we need to allow people to catch up. People who not want. I don't know, because I'm not saying it shouldn't be.
People to catch up. No money to be made in catch-ups.
That's right. But I just think that we've got to catch up.
They make more money out of merchandising than they do from the film, so that's why they're making another 3 films.
But do people actually get Star Wars? Like, if you said to a fan, would they know?
I've got a friend who actually sells Star Wars memorabilia, and he has quite a good. He's got quite a good business. Thank you very much.
Can I get a yes or a no? Should we do another trilogy? Chris?
If there's money to be made, absolutely.
Great.
Well, they're Star Wars fans. Of course we should. Should we do another Bond movie? Haven't we seen them all?
Yes,
of course we should.
We should do a Bond. That's
and
right.
And I, Chris, say no. Give it a rest.
Give Star Wars a rest.
Steve, what is your story?
Well, this is out of Sweden. A couple of scientists have found that sniffing other people's body odour may be able to help treat social anxiety, and it may be able to calm you down. I've gone for a run and I haven't had a shower, and I'm just look how calm they're getting.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes,
they have
fumigation has that effect.
What they've done is that they've got these people who were doing the study, and they've taken half of them. And they've introduced them to body odour, and they've taken the other half and introduced them to fresh air. And the people that were introduced to body odour, sniffing people's underarms and all that, they felt calmer than the people who were sniffing fresh air.
You have got to be kidding me. Have you ever stood behind somebody in a supermarket who hasn't used their deodorant?
And I know exactly. But I know exactly why it makes people calm, because I had this encounter today. I saw someone that had body odour, and it makes you so uncomfortable to say anything that you just become, you retreat, you clam up, exactly, and it makes you,
and becoming comatose is not to be confused with being calm.
When did we say relaxation is not a coma? I mean, I've been sitting next to someone at the licensing department once, and they had the worst BO, and you couldn't but smell it. And I reckon it's not relaxing. You just don't want to open your mouth or breathe.
But this is sniffing.
You're actually trying to hold your breath.
This is actually doing it by choice.
This is deliberate, actually,
sniffing somebody's underarm, and it may. Look, it shows that the people that the two.
I've worked this out.
Yeah.
They were odour fetishists.
They were possibly could have been, or they might have just felt. They reckon it's because you're near another person and so you feel safer being near
Is
another
this
person.
legitimate,
You feel safer being near a
Steve?
person who's
Well, you're next to me. Look how.
Steve, is this a legitimate story?
This is a legitimate story.
therapy.
It's actually come out of Sweden.
And it's therapy.
It's come from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden.
Okay, so we
Here's
need to
the
sniff
answer.
each other.
Here's the answer. Sweden, even in the height of summer
Well, they
by our
probably don't have a lot of
standards,
body odour there,
it's
do they?
freezing cold.
That's exactly right.
So their idea of body odour, I mean, come and do this study in Australia, people in the middle of summer, and see how you go.
Smell an ice block, and that's what their idea is.
Chris, would this make a segment in your next book? Customer service improvement?
Yeah, well,
have all your staff smell of BO.
BO to reduce anxiety. Let's look into it. Yeah.
And it's a good way of
You could give it a new shop and call it Stinko
Yeah,
Rama.
well, it's a good way of, I guess it's a good way of sniffing out good stuff. Chris Ilsley, what's your topic, Chris? Now, you're talking about Rupert Murdoch.
Yes, I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago that Rupert was getting engaged, and I thought he got engaged about 33 seconds after he got divorced. The fact that he's now called off his engagement because of her alleged evangelical views kind of got me wondering, how well did he know her? You would have thought before he got engaged that he may have been aware.
But not only that, he's Fox News, which he owns, which is in a bit of trouble at the moment. Their basic whole audience are evangelicals, really conservative evangelicals.
Roop's not. He's a self-professed atheist.
But in America, you would think that there would be a huge proportion of the population that are evangelical.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
There would be
Firstly,
a risk.
You'd think he'd know about it. You know what my suspicion is, and it's only the suspicious nature I have. I wonder if she refused to sign the prenup.
I reckon that is it.
She would have looked and said, look, he's a 92-year-old man, right? They would have said, he's definitely got 2 feet in a coffin, right? We're not being rude. He's an old man.
You know, when I was in Times Square in New York, I was crossing the street and standing there, and there was Rupert with Jerry Hall, and she towered over him. And he's a little miniature thing like this,
So you mean to say all this money and all this power comes from short man's?
Did we ever think this was going to last anyway? I mean, look, he's 92.
Well, I thought it was going to last because when he said till death us two do part, he's 92. I reckon there's a fair shake that he would have made it till death us do part.
It only ended once they got the scrutiny of the media and it became real. Yeah. I mean, she took the $2.5 million ring from him. I mean, what idiot needs to buy their wife off, or future wife, with $2.5 million ring?
Yeah, but $2.5 million to him is, I was going to say, it's not even change for the Coke machine.
No, but it's a lot of money.
She may be sniffing his armpits too.
Yeah,
that was,
I think she was.
It would have been huge.
Well, no, because she would have had to bend down a long way to sniff his armpits.
She probably already did, Chris. That's how she sniffed out a lot of money.
I still think that she wouldn't sign, and it actually probably would be more related to the will. Right? And if he then shuffles off and goes, hey, St. Peter, right, then...
I don't think it'll be St. Peter for him.
No, I've got a feeling it might be more, I smell sulphur. Anyway, funnily enough, if that were to happen, I wonder if there was a bit of concern, especially from the heirs and successors.
Oh, I think so.
That, we can't have this woman potentially taking a bucket load of money.
Here's as we wrap it up, a question for you, all three of you, just a quick one. Should she give back the ring? Chris?
No.
No? Steve?
No, not as giving
Chris.
Gift.
No, it's given.
No.
I reckon he should just take it back. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you. This is the book, the new one. All in Culture. It's #1 on Amazon. Well done. Internationally #1 as well.
This is the arm.
Chris Moyer, welcome back.
This is calming everybody down.
Steve, thank you for filling in for Ted while he's away.
He'll be known as Stinky Steve from here on.
And you can call him that. You can sniff that one out if you like. I'm happy for you to sniff each other out.
I'll
Chris Ilsley, thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
We'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Always a pleasure and look forward to it.
I think we might even have Steve back in a couple of weeks' time. That is it for the show today. We've got young Ari Jasper on set, ready to perform. He's got a great song by Ed Sheeran. It's called Thinking Out Loud. It's exactly what we did here on Bitchin'. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching Foxtel. See you soon.
When your legs don't work like they used to before, and I can't sweep you off of your feet, will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheeks? And darling, I will be loving you till we're 70. Baby, my heart could still fall as hard at 23. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. Maybe just the touch of a hand. Me, I fall in love with you every single day, hoping that you'll understand. But baby, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me up to the light of 1,000 stars, yeah. Place your head on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud that maybe we found love right where we are. And when my hair's all but gone and my memory fades, and the crowds don't remember my name, when my hands don't play the strings the same way, yeah, I know you'll still love me the same. 'Cause honey, your soul could never grow old, it's evergreen. And baby, your smile's forever in my mind and memory. And I'm thinking about how people fall in love in mysterious ways. And maybe it's all part of a plan. Well, I'll just keep on making the same mistakes, hoping that you'll understand. But baby, now take me into your loving arms. Kiss me up to the light of 1,000 stars, yeah. Place your hand on my beating heart. I'm thinking out loud, maybe we found love right where we are. Maybe we found love right where we are. Maybe we found love right where we are.